Hi, I'm Neil with Covers Camo Custom Seat Covers, and today we're doing the install on the 2006 Toyota Tundra. So this is what the seat covers are going to look like out of the bag here. This is the front row seat covers, comes in a bag about like that. This is the Kryptek Highlander seat covers that we're going to do on here. And then inside there's a bag inside here just saying thank you and a link to some of the install videos. And then also a couple flyers as well that you can give out. Some flyers to friends and family so we can do their seat covers as well. So let's check this install out now. Okay, so we're going to start with the driver's side here. The driver's side alone is going to have 1, 2, 3, 4 different pieces here. So I'm going to prep those up. I'm going to get the armrest piece here and throw the other armrest in the back for now. And then I'm going to get one of the headrest covers, get that ready right there. And then take that other headrest, put it back there. And then this is the driver bottom section here. So I'm going to get this ready here. I know it's the driver bottom because it is labeled here, driver's bottom. But also I know this because with Covers Camo we have the driver side pistol holster right there. So if you ended up ordering that, then that's always on the driver's side right there in between your driver's seat and the console right there. Okay, it works for a smaller pistol there. We can show you more videos about how the driver's side pistol holster works. Okay, but actually the first piece that I'm going to install is the driver backrest. So this is the driver backrest section here. I know it's the driver backrest because of the side airbags. The side airbag release is on the outside. That's where your side airbags are built in. Okay, and then also the manufacturer tag is here on the outside. So if you see your manufacturer tag after you install it and it's on the inside, you installed it wrong, and you need to make sure that manufacturer tag is on the outside. Okay, so that's the first piece that we're going to install there. So I'm going to actually take these covers, these other part of the seat, and just set them there for right now. And first step is I'm going to pop off this headrest. Okay, so you just push in. These Toyotas are pretty simple. You just push in that button right there, and that headrest pops up. And then I'm going to rip off this label as well. It just says driver backrest, and open this up. And I always like to check the rear pockets back there to make sure there's nothing inside the rear pocket before I take it off or cover it. And I'm just going to start fitting this over here. And what I'm doing here is lining up these headrest post cutouts right here, right around the plastic section for the headrest posts, and then just popping those over. Okay, there is a plastic install tool that you can use for this, but I've noticed that sometimes you can just use the best tools that you have as well, and just use your hands. Okay? So you can just pop those over with your hands, not too bad. Okay, so this is gonna pull down right there. Okay, and I'm gonna pull this down on the front as well here, like that. Okay, kind of line that up, line up the seams. These covers all have about a half inch of foam backing, and that's what gives it a nice body, kind of bolsters there as well. I'm gonna push this through as well since I'm on the front side right now. There's that front felt flap, and that's what I'm pushing through, and that's gonna attach to the Velcro on the back side here. So I'm gonna push that through right now. Okay, so now we're on the back side of the driver backrest, and this one has a felt flap that goes down and around right here. And so what you're actually gonna wanna do is you're gonna wanna release this flap, this original flap right there. And to do that, there's these these elastic straps underneath here. And it's gonna be easiest if you actually just use scissors and snip it kind of in the middle, because what you're gonna do is you're gonna end up releasing that, and I'll actually release both sides here so we can get this out and see it. So you're gonna release both sides. Okay, so you're gonna snip them, and then what you're gonna do is you can retie these. You can reach underneath and retie it if you'd like, but that's gonna release that piece right there. Okay, so now we're gonna attach the side piece here. So there's just 2 pieces of Velcro. Just pull that around to the side, and then stick this one on right there and kind of tuck that into the plastic right there. Okay, and now we're gonna do this armrest. Now, these armrests aren't gonna be labeled, but what I like to do is I like to line this up right here, and then I'm gonna put the Velcro piece down towards the bottom, so where it attaches, that won't show as much as the top piece, and that should work out just fine. So I'm gonna kind of roll this around a little bit like that, and then sometimes these can be pretty tight, and this material, this is a 600 denier nylon, which is super durable, but it doesn't have a ton of give to it. So sometimes you got to work these on, and it can be pretty tough. This one doesn't look like it's gonna give me too much trouble, but every now and then these can be a little tight. So I'm just gonna work that over like that right there. Kind of pull this top on here. Again, no tools necessary really to do this install. I mean, I used some scissors down there, but we're leaving the seats in the vehicle and nothing too crazy as far as how the install goes. Okay, so there's that armrest on there now. Move it around a little bit, kind of work out the wrinkles there. And so just a nice tight fitting armrest cover there. Now we'll move on to the headrest. So I'll grab here's the headrest here and the cover, and now you can kind of line this up, the headrest with the cover, but what you're going to want to do is this flap right here, this one that has the hook side to it, this is always going to be the front. Okay, so this is always the front side, and this kind of shorter one goes towards the back. That softer Velcro goes towards the back. Okay, so that's pretty much standard on all the seat cover sets there. But that's going to be the front, and we're going to line that up right here. And sometimes you gotta push these down quite a bit because they're just tight fitting. So you kind of, you know, manhandle it a little bit and just work it, you know, and that'll get it on. So if you think it's too tight, sometimes it's just a tight fit, and you just got to work it on a little bit more. Now I roll it around a little bit like that. That helps to kind of protect the seams a little bit more and get it on a little bit better. Okay. So again, I'm just kind of, and then once I get it on about halfway, now I'm just kind of rolling it over like this. Yep, and just kind of popping it over like that right there. Okay. So just pulling it down and making sure everything's lining up with it. And then there's just that Velcro to finish it out. Putting it on right there. Okay, so as you can see, a nice tight fitting headrest cover there. Okay, there's the bottom. I'm just gonna push that one in. And so now we have 3 pieces on the driver's side done. The headrest, the armrest, and the backrest cover. And now we need to put on the driver bottom. So now we have the driver bottom section, and it does come kind of these strings here are tied already. I like just undoing those, and then I just have the string there loose. And there's gonna be 3 straps on the back here. Okay, 2 straps that are gonna go to buckles underneath the seat. Okay, so these 2 outside straps are gonna go to these buckles. And then this middle strap is what we call the safety strap. This goes underneath the seat to a spring, and then back to itself, back to this buckle right here. And so that keeps the seat cover from ever sliding forward. Okay, so that is how that works. And now what we're gonna do is line this up, kind of just sliding it over the seat here. Getting it into position. Out of anything This is probably the one that takes the most time, probably most time consuming, is the bottom section here, just because it's a little tricky sometimes for people to figure out how to do. But once you do one side, like after I do this driver side, then I kind of know how these seats work, and then the passenger side is much easier. So again, I'm just pushing this through here. One thing you want to be careful of is as you're pushing this through, kind of keep your hands protecting that cloth so it doesn't stick right to the cloth, because if it sticks onto that cloth already, it can be hard to continue to push through. So I kind of just keep my hands in between the cloth and that Velcro as I'm pushing it through. And I'll take these straps as well, just push those straps through the seat crevice there as well. I'll get my strings ready as well, and I'll take these strings and just kind of bring those down and around on the side. Okay, so now this is the outside of the driver's seat here, and there's going to be this little cutout right here, and that cutout is for this control knob. So what you're going to want to do is bring that string around that control knob there, okay, and then push that seat cover down. This is the seat cover install tool. A white fiber stick that helps you push this down into the seat here. As you can see, I'm going to kind of stuff that in between the seat trim right there and push that seat cover down, and then that helps to get it into place right there and gets it a little more flush. And then this one right here, same thing. Gonna push this cover down. Don't worry about that string being loose right now, because we're gonna end up pulling this in a second. It's gonna kind of tighten up. But first, we're just gonna get this into place right there. Push that down. Just gotta keep working it there. And then, now here's probably the trickiest part of the entire seat cover install that a lot of people struggle with. This string right here, this string, often I see people take it around like that and tie it on. And that's not how it's designed to work. It's designed to actually tuck into the seat here, underneath this trim. It looks so much better when you do that. So, it's a little trickier, it's a little harder, but so much better if you do this. Again, so I'm gonna take this string, kind of feed it through into that little crevice in between this plastic and the seat. And as you can see, my string just popped out right here, okay? So I got that string out, and now I'm gonna pull that string back. And I'm gonna do it, you know, I'm not gonna pull real hard on it yet, just because sometimes you can get it against something sharp and you don't wanna pull too hard when it's against something sharp right there. But okay, so I got it through there, but it looks like I need to tuck that string in a little bit more here. Oops. So I'm just bringing that string up right up next to that gear right there. Now I'm pulling it right there, just kind of tucking it back down in right there. Okay, so that's looking pretty good to me right there. We got everything covered, and then this string is through on the back side, and I'll actually use this as kind of my stable side. I'll show you that in a second. This will be my stable side, and I'll actually pull that other side a lot more to tighten it, because this one, there's just a lot going on right here with that string, so I'm not going to yank on it real hard, or else these can rip sometimes if you pull too hard on them, and when it's against something sharp or something like a gear like that. Okay, so now I actually stuck that down a little, this back flap a little prematurely. I should have held that up a little bit longer, and because we need to pull these straps through here and finish this bottom. So I'm gonna get all these straps pulled through first. Okay. And okay, so what we're gonna do is take these straps and go underneath, and I'll do this middle strap first here. And actually, before I do that, I'm gonna tie off this string. Gonna get this string done and out of the way. I like doing that first. So again, this is the string. This side here is the one I'm gonna pull a little bit more. The one on this side, I'm gonna pull that one, and then this is gonna be my stable side over here. So I am gonna tie a loop in this stable side here. So just tie in a loop like that. Okay, so then I have something to go around. And then I'm gonna take this, I'm gonna take this other side right here, come around into it. And not gonna pull super tight on this because it's not a real stability factor, this string. The string is more just kind of keep those front edges from curling up on you. It's more aesthetic than anything. So tying this string off here, just put another loop-de-loop knot there. That's the official name as well, loop-de-loop. So remember that. Okay, so we'll get these straps done now, and I actually showed you that backrest install a little wrong, so I gotta correct myself on that in a second here. But let's do these straps first, and I'll show you what I was talking about. Okay, so here's this middle, here's the safety strap I'm doing first. I went underneath and just went to a solid bar, okay, and just looped it around a solid bar. And I'm coming back now, and then I'm gonna push it through. Here's the middle one, okay, and then I'm gonna go through this outside one right here. Okay, so that is how you do these buckles. Okay, you go through the middle, that outside, and you pull down like that, and then I'm just gonna pull that down nice and tight. Okay, that one you can pull pretty tight on. You don't have to go too crazy with it, but it can go down. It can go down a little tighter. So that'll just make sure the cover never slides forward. Okay. Now these outside ones, what I'll do is I won't be able to reach all the way underneath until I go to the front, but I'm just gonna push those around towards the front so I can grab them there. Same thing with this one. Push it down underneath there so then I can go around to the front and grab it. So here's the front straps now, and front buckles to the straps. So again, just pushing it through that middle strap, or that middle slot, and then the outside slot right there. Push that through. It's hooked now, and then I'm gonna tighten that up. And this is where it gets a little tight here, so I'm actually gonna take my watch off for this, and then you just gotta slide underneath. And what I like to do is I like to take my other hand and push down on the seat. So I'm kind of compressing here as I tighten that down. And then I'm just checking the top to see that it's compressing down. You can get these too tight where they kind of pucker. And I don't want it to the point that it's puckering, but I just want it nice and tight against the seat right there. And that's perfect. The perfect kind of tightness right there. Okay, so try to get it like that. Now I'm doing the same thing this other side here. Pushing it through. Now one thing, can't really see this from the camera angle, but from where I'm looking, there's some electric controls, and or some, like, you know, some cords underneath here. You want to try to stay away from compressing cords together as a general principle when you're installing these seat covers. And if you can do that, then that'll be better for the seats, because you don't want to kind of compress or cut off cords or cables underneath here if you can. And you can always take these extra strap kind of excess and just tuck it underneath a spring. That's what I'm doing, is just tucking those underneath the spring, so they're just so that it gets them out of the way a little bit more. Not that you really need to, because they're just going to hang out underneath here and not really do anything, but I like to just kind of tighten things up and tidy up underneath there. Okay, so that's now the bottom's all secured on. So the bottom is all fastened on, good to go. Is where you actually take that this felt that comes from the backrest and it pushes through. That actually comes out and it sticks onto this piece of Velcro that came from the bottom cover. Okay, so that's a design that actually George came up with. That this Velcro right here, that's on the bottom cover, and you just pull this and then just stick it on. It's super easy, actually. You just stick that on right there, and then you're good to go as far as that front felt goes. Okay, so this is the felt that we originally were using. And what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna retie these pieces. Okay, so I'm just gonna make another hook, and if you don't want to cut and tie and have to retie, those are on with hog rings, so you could do the little harder method. You'd have to go underneath and release the hog ring and then kind of re-hog ring it on. But this is probably the more common method to do it. You just snip these. Just make sure you're not snipping any cords or cables underneath your seat. That's your little disclaimer there. Okay, so you don't want to do that, because you snip your airbag seat or something, your airbag cable. So that's gonna be bad news. That'll be an expensive fix. So anyhow, just when you're getting underneath there, make sure you're not cutting those. Okay, so I just got those tied up now, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take these now, and I'm gonna take some little hooks. So that may be one tool that you may want to get for this install job, is just a little hook. I'm going to put the hook on one side here and then hook that on underneath the seat, underneath right there. And then what's going to happen is I'm going to hook those up, and then I'm going to take this piece right here and just stick that down onto the seat there and there. And it's going to look how flush that finishes out. Finish out way better. So anyhow, but the next step I need to get these little hooks. Okay, so these are the hooks that I was talking about. You can pick these up from a hardware store or something like that. They're just these little S hooks. And for this particular job, I kind of like it. I'm sure you can figure out something else to do it with, but I just hook it on right here, one onto the seat, elastic strap right there like that. Okay, and then I'm going to take this hook, go underneath, and then hook it onto a metal bar underneath. Okay, so then it's not super important on like which bar you get it on, but you just go underneath, hook it onto a bar, and do the same thing with this side here. And now, one word of caution with using these S hooks is that if you're underneath looking for a bar, these can flip back and hit you in the eye, right in the eyeball. That's dangerous. Okay, you don't want that to happen. So if you do that, put on some eye goggles, some safety goggles, okay, as you're going underneath there, okay, because it, again, can be dangerous. So got that stuck on, and that side's all good to go. Okay, so now we're actually going to repeat all those same steps that we did on the driver's side for the passenger side. This seat is the exact same. So now one thing I'm going to change up a little bit now that I already did that driver's side is I'm going to do the passenger bottom section first. And I'm just going to install that passenger bottom all down, because then for that backrest I can just pull that back felt right onto the Velcro, and then you're good to go after that. And I jumped the gun doing that backrest a little bit earlier. Usually we do the backrest first and then the bottoms, but this time around I'm going to do this passenger bottom first, and then hit the back, hit the headrest, armrest, and then we'll be good to go on this. Thanks so much for watching. Again, this has been Neil here with Covers and Camo, custom seat covers. See more at coversandcamo.com. Thanks.